Mac, as we talked about earlier on the phone, you were wanting to do things to preserve yourself over the course of a long season. If you could kind of just walk me through what you did to maybe change the body, change the mindset, to make sure that you're effective from now until September and hopefully October.
Yeah, so just train a little bit differently, not focusing on, just getting my strength up. It's hard to maintain that much strength throughout a full season. So work to be a little bit quicker, a little bit faster. Still doing lifts, still trying to get as heavy as we can, but really focusing on hitting like a speed number. We've got trackers in the weight room. So it was a lot of speed squat, speed deadlift, paired with normal squat, normal deadlift. So still getting the strength stuff, but having the focus be more on speed stuff.
So when you talk about speed stuff, does that, I guess if someone's just watching, like, gee, is Matt going to steal 40 bases?
No. That's God gave me a certain ability on the running front, and I'm sure that's changed a little bit, but it's more about being able to maintain that, right? So like, if I know I'm hitting this certain speed number at this certain weight, I know that where my strength's at in correlation to where I was in the off season. So that was big. Whole shoulder care routine. My shoulder the last couple of years has kind of crapped out on me around the All-Star break. Caused some problems throwing, hitting, different things like that. So got a 5-day routine with some extra stretching stuff on those other days, and just really got to maintain that. I got to do that all year.
I guess going back just to the basics of why, you've had some excellent stretches the last several years, but there have been also some tail-offs and lately, late in the season. Is that the reason you attacked it this way?
I'm just trying to give myself a better chance, man. This game's still extremely hard. It's a very humbling sport, but I'd like to give it my best for the entire 6 months, and hopefully, some games past that. And I figured sitting down with my training guys and stuff like that, and we decided that this was going to be the best way to do it.
Talked to Buddy and also Bill Schmidt, and they built some depth to give people like yourself and Tovar a little bit more rest during the season. But is it hard to take that rest?
It's hard. You don't want it, man. I look back, I think me and Toby played like the first 52 games together. And I don't think there was a day that we showed up that we were like, oh man, I hope I'm not playing today. I don't think we will ever get like that. It's just kind of who you are as a person, right? You want to be the guy that shows up and plays every day, respected by your teammates, stuff like that. So I know it's important to me, it's important to him, it's important to Doyle, it's important to a lot of our guys. So it's going to be hard to take those days, but me having been through it, I'll probably be a little bit easier to accept those days, but I think Toby's going to be hard to keep off the field, man. That boy loves to play.
I mean, we're talking about improvement and things that happened at the end of the season. But you were an all-star last year, leader on this club. I mean, what did you take into the offseason as a positive?
Obviously really cool, accolades for myself, cool things that, when I'm done playing, I'll look back on, man. But I think once you have those things and get them, you realize how unimportant they are. For me, man, at this point in my career, I'm realizing how important these relationships are and the respect to my teammates. So that's kind of my whole focus. That's one of the reasons why I like to try to show up and play every day, so that they know I have their back and that they can count on me. So
4 straight finalists for the Gold Glove. Is there a part of you, I know you don't control it, but you want to run away with that thing and say, you look at, you've been good over a long period of time, but to have that accolade.
Yeah, like I just said though, man. Like at the end of your career, it might be something cool to show your kids, something like that. But these guys know how hard I play on defense, and that's all I really care about.
So I guess just walking through in the off season. So basically, it's a mix of different routines. Some to build muscle, some to build quickness and speed. Kind of give me a little bit more detail on that?
Yeah, so the focus would definitely be maintaining the speed, right? The speed aspect, being strong enough to move it at a fast enough weight. So think of football lifting, right? Like guys get in there, it's like, hey, let's get as strong as we can, let's lift as hard as we can. Obviously their sport's grueling, they take a lot of hits, but they do play once a week. We're playing every single day. So maintaining that kind of strength, you don't have those off days to lift as hard as you can to keep that strength as high as you'd like, right? So this quickness, this speed, it's kind of whole body exercise, right? It's a back squat, it's a speed deadlift. There was a lot of med ball stuff in there, but it's just going to be easier to maintain, right? I don't have to go as heavy on the weight as long as I'm hitting these speeds at a certain amount of weight.
Okay.
So it's supposed to be easier to maintain throughout the season.
And just kind of going through your career, you told me that once in the minors, you lifted weights up to 220 because you thought you would need, or you got your weight up to 220 because you thought you would need that to go to the higher levels.
Yeah.
What is the education like for a player? Because you learn something every year, right?
Yeah, you definitely learn something every year. I thought I was a little more keyholed in first base. I wasn't playing as much third. And I'm a young kid. I'm like, all right, well, I see Mark Teixeira, all these other huge first basemen. It's like I should probably try to get pretty big. And if I could talk to the younger me, I would just be like, hey, man, focus on being able to sustain it for the whole year and just go play your game.
So what are you weighing now?
Right now, I'm like 207, 208. Trying to get that up a little bit more heading into spring because I'll probably lose about 5 pounds. Everybody loses a little bit of weight during spring, man. We're out there a lot.
Yeah, and another thing about last year too, you got sick during the year. So there's a lot
sucked.
you can't control, right?
Yeah, no, those are always going to come up. But again, instead of trying to put it back on by lifting heavy weights, if I just maintain this stuff and hop back on it, get my eating right again, I should be able to put weight back on if I do get sick.
You guys, about the team in general. The pitchers are a little bit veteran now, guys have been around, but you also have some young guys coming up behind them, and you were here when they won last time. Do you feel like that's coming? I mean, can you look at it and say that's coming? You get predicted, but do you look and say good things are coming?
It's easy to see with that mix, right? It's kind of the mix we had back then. It was, Freeling coming up, pitching well, Marquez coming up, pitching well. We've got some guys like that and some other young players. So, I know the world's writing us off, and we're fine with that. We're going to keep our heads down and keep working. But, for us in the room, it's easy to be optimistic.
Beautiful. Thank you, man.
Cool.
I appreciate
Of course, buddy.
it. Okay.